Guys, gals, and guests, welcome to another installment of LGBTQ plus singles. The living doll is here. She is your host, the fairy puss herself. Bre Starr in the building. How y'all doing tonight? Happy Monday. Happy 2023. How are my people doing tonight, honey? We are here in the building. And yet again, I am here with a ridiculous lash. Let me not do too much, honey. I don't want to fly up off this chair. I hope y'all had a beautiful weekend. I hope y'all have really been enjoying yourselves. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to all. I love y'all for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Are my singles in the building? Where y'all at, honey? Yes, honey, the show is about y'all tonight, okay? It's been a Monday. Honestly, I don't have no tea for y'all today. I really don't know what's been going on in the world. I don't know what's been going on in the media. I've been tuned out a bit. I've been researching for some upcoming videos that I have. I've obligated myself to make quite a few videos. I've been commissioned to make some videos and post them online. So I have been doing my due diligence. And plus, I got to give y'all a follow-up on the Jasmine Couture video because that ain't all the tea. I don't know. I don't think I expressed myself quite well enough in that video because I think there's some confusion. I was trying to get y'all to understand that there's a lot of question marks regarding that for all of my ballroom people. Hey, Joe. For all of my ballroom people. It's some more to that tea. It's some more to that case. So I've been just researching and doing my due diligence because, when you start speaking about the legends and the icons, honey, you better know what the fuck you talking about. You better have your motherfucking receipts, honey. So we got a little more to discuss. I'll be dropping that by the end of the evening. That will be on my page by the end of the evening, honey. The follow-up to the tea with Miss Jasmine Couture. Because, the original video was, is she alive? Wait, what's going on? Where's Jasmine Couture? Is she faking and frauding? Is she dipping and dodging? Like, what's going on? Well, honey, the story ain't over yet. Welcome in. Shout out to my Knox. Yes, shout out to Marsha P. I don't know if y'all can see her. I don't know if y'all can see Marsha on my hoodie. And shout out to Knox. Y'all know Knox is the moderator for the show. Sometimes Knox comes and does a wrap up with me. At the end of the show, this was a gift from Knox. Hey, my friends, my moderator. Shout out to Knox. Y'all ready for a show tonight? Who coming up tonight? Who's going to be featured on tonight? Who coming up tonight? We all love Knox. Patty. Yes. So who coming up? Who we talking to tonight? Let's see who in here. Let's see who in the building. Holy, what's going on? Oh, we got quite a few of y'all in here. I have somebody scheduled. They ain't in here yet. Holy. But does anybody else want to come up? Is anybody else interested in coming up? Before we get the scheduled guests in? Because like I said, I ain't got no tea for y'all. I've been researching old tea. baby. I got no new teeth for y'all. I ain't got nothing to cut up with. I told y'all I was gonna stop discussing my love life here because that was giving me entanglements. That was getting me into entanglements, honey, baby. Or maybe it was exposing my entanglements. I should say that's really what was happening. Oh, I look like a Muppet when I do this. Don't I look like that Jim Henson's Muppet? I'm doing. You know what I'm talking about? Not Miss Piggy, but one of the orange ones that was like the lashes, one number lashes. I think we do have an update. I already updated the people on my New Year's knocks. I ain't boring y'all with another update. If you didn't see it, you gotta check it. You gotta check it on my YouTube page, baby. Is you ready to come up? Is you ready to come up, Patty? You ready to come up, Diane? Diane, to give your update. I'm so used to calling you Patty. I don't know how to call you by your real name. No, I just look what? I can't see that last word. I just look what? I know my lash is looking off, honey. She's off kilter. I look what? I can't see. I don't know what that. I guess that's gonna have to stay in the chat, honey, because I don't know what you're talking about, baby. Honey. You said I look, huh? What's that? I can't see. It's the lashes.
Ooh, my skin look bad. Hi.
Hey, girl, don't you ever. The only person that is allowed to be self-deprecating on my lives are me.
I'm just looking at my skin, but I had a little bit of an update. So
Okay, so let me fill the folks in, honey. We had my friend Patty, aka Diane, on the show. She did her feature. Um, Single, lovely, question marks. Why is she single, honey? We got to get her some exposure. She comes back, honey, and she's with the ex-husband, right? The ex-husband
no,
staying, but when you came back last time, the ex-husband was back staying with you, right?
yeah,
Okay, yeah, comes back, the ex-husband is staying with her, honey. And so everybody, me included, was like, girl, run.
I'm still saying that. No, we are. It's done. We're not getting together. But I am seeing someone.
I hear
Yeah.
somebody coughing. Is they there now?
No, no. He actually lives in Seattle. But he comes down on like the weekends and stuff. So his name is Denzel. He's from the Caribbean, and he's super nice. So
Is it Denzel or Denzel?
Denzel,
Denzel.
yeah, he's
Mm.
with the I, not an E.
Mhm. Um. So he's from Seattle. Isn't that where they was just freezing people and stuff? People was freezing in their car.
I think so. Yeah,
Um,
I don't know. It's only 2 hours away from here.
I'm glad he made it through the storm.
He did. Like last time I see, he drove down right after it all melted and stuff. So he came down here just to take me to lunch. So it was nice.
That's
So
sweet. That's sweet. Wow, Seattle. Yeah, because are you in Portland?
yes,
Were you in?
I'm in Portland.
So that's a 2 hour drive. So y'all are like the closest cities, like Portland and Seattle
Yeah,
are like the closest big cities.
yeah, it is. So it's like, yeah, Seattle's just 2.5 hours away.
Mm.
So it's long distance, but it's close enough to where it's like either one of us can drive.
So how long has it been?
It's been about a month now. Um, we haven't like given it any like title or anything. We're just kind of like seeing each other and seeing where the vibe goes. But so until like there's a commitment made or he shows me like, okay, yeah, this is what I want and I really want you, like I'm still single and still operating as such. And we discussed that because it's like, hey, maybe you find someone locally, maybe I'll find someone locally that it just works out better. But we seem to really like each other, and he's definitely been putting on a lot of pressure as far as like, I don't know. I was kind of like taken aback at first because he's really like love bombing, like always being complimentary and just so super nice. It made me like, what is your motive? What are you really wanting? And so it made me kind of like push off on him at first, but then it's like, okay, maybe because he's from the Caribbean, so maybe that's just kind of how those men are. So, and then from what my friends told me, like, oh yeah, they are kind of like that. They see what they want or whatever. So, but he's really nice, and he was just like, basically, I know what I want. So whenever you feel like you're ready, I'm here. So like this man like cash outs me coffee money every morning before I go to work just to make sure I have coffee money so I could be caffeinated for the day. And it's just like,
How'd y'all meet?
so we met on the BLK app.
Interesting. Interesting. And give us a little breakdown. I wanna see him in my mind. I wanna know what yo look like.
Okay, so he is about 5'8", 5'9", very pretty teeth. He has starter locks, big brown eyes, very, very chocolate complexion. Like, oh my goodness. And his accent is thick. Sometimes I don't be understanding what he's saying. I'm like, huh? He's like, I'm gonna just text it to you. He'll get off the phone and start texting it to me. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for an accent too, honey.
Um,
Yeah,
I,
you prefer that accent the right way. You say the right things in that accent, and baby, I can be quite hypnotized for like 17 seconds.
yeah, oh my gosh. Like I really love an accent. And he's also athletic build. He works for the Navy up there, up north. So that's why he's up north. He's not enlisted or anything, but he just works for the Navy. So
Mm,
this is like the time I really kind of announced him because I've just been keeping it pretty quiet. But no, things are heading in the right direction, and he might be that one. So our next plan to see each other is maybe sometime around late February. He's gonna come down here, and so he's making a plan. He's like, we're gonna go do this, we're gonna go do that. And he's kind of like hitting every criteria that I want. So
okay, we're gonna see. I'm curious. Do you know exactly like which island he's from?
he is from the Virgin Islands, so St. Croix.
Okay, yeah, yeah, in my experience with Caribbeans, with dating Caribbeans, they tend to be very go for what they want. And I don't know, I think maybe that's an American thing. I think maybe that whole I'm gonna subdue my feelings, or I'm going to hide my feelings, or have ulterior motives. I think that tends to be, not that it doesn't happen everywhere, but I think it tends to be more of an American thing.
Yeah, that's why I was just like, "What? Why are you love bombing me? Why are you telling me all of this stuff? Like, you want something, and I'm like highly suspicious of them. So it's like my guard is being slowly let down, and it just told me like, yo, I got a lot of internalized shit that I still got to work out because it's like, do I am I have my guard up because I don't think I deserve this kind of treatment, or is it that just I'm just basically I'm scared. I'm scared to go all in. So
We've discussed this before, but now is not the time to go all in. Regardless, they still need their 90-day trial at least. You
Mhm.
know, still got to give them their 90-day trial. You know, I preach that 90-day trial, honey. I'm telling you, it's psychology behind the reasoning for your job giving you a 90-day evaluation. You need to evaluate people at least for 90 days because, you know, it could be cultural differences. It could be genuine, and it very well could be an ulterior motive thing, regardless of what I've noticed in my anthropological studies. But 90 days, honey. You gotta give them at least 90 days, honey. That is my suggestion. But I'm wishing the best, honey. You know, I want you to find the things of the things, honey. I've never been on a BLK app, but I can imagine it's some shit going on the BLK app.
Child. Who you telling that it's all bad, and maybe that's why I'm like super cautious too. Like I am cautiously optimistic about this situation, so trying not to get my feelings too involved. So when it doesn't work out, I'm not as hurt, because
Girl, I'm going to give you some advice. I'm going to give you some advice because I know you're a selfless kind of person. But be selfish, honey. Enjoy it for what it is. If it's nothing more than this man bringing you coffee or whatever right now, then that's what it's given. You know,
mm-hmm.
don't overdo it. But you still keep your eye out and enjoy it for what it is. You know, if it's coming with dick, that's great too. You
I mean,
know.
get to that part yet, but
Ooh,
whew,
ah,
wow.
you said Caribbean and chocolate. Ooh, bitch, honey, do you know how far you know the distance to where your service is? Don't get your shit fucked up.
I mean, shit. When he, I'm not gonna get too graphic, but when he was, yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Girl, don't end up in no hospital fucking with no manzingo, honey, trying to turn you out for a green card. I'm just saying. Honey,
Oh no, he's from the Virgin Islands. He's a citizen, so I ain't worried about that.
um,
Oh my God, he was. I'm not even gonna get into it. Like it was just amazing, and that's why I'm trying not to get caught up on. So I'm just like, oh, okay, that was great, but what else are you offering? But like, no,
does
he's
he know? Does he know? Have y'all discussed sexual orientation? Does he know um, where you stand on the spectrum?
yes, he does.
How does he feel about that?
He's just like, hey, it's what it is. What it is. It's like I'm here now, so it doesn't matter. So I'm like,
Baby, the luxury of being assigned female at birth, honey, the people you date rarely care.
yeah, he knows about my current situation and everything like that. So he's fully aware. But and that situation is getting handled coming next month. We are going to go ahead and get the paper started. So I feel like before I could really, really move on with somebody else, I gotta close this chapter first.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't know if you were here. I think you were here that night that I was discussing my own incident of attempting to date someone and you know, mm-mm, it's a, I'm not. I'm still tender.
You didn't deserve that.
It's fine. It's fine.
You didn't deserve that. That made me so mad when I was watching that.
I set myself up for it. That you know what I mean? That's why I'm prepared for a blow like that. But that was a disappointment. It wasn't a heartbreak. That's why I want you to be prepared for a disappointment. You can prepare for a disappointment. You can't prepare for a heartbreak.
True. That's true. Well, no disappointments thus far, but we'll see. I'll give you an updated 90 days. We just like a month in now, so but we'll see.
So
We'll see what.
I will be checking back in to see how things are going.
Thank you, friend. Love you, girl.
Love you.
Bye.
Yes, child. Yes, honey. You know, I've always been one of those people who has loved love, and that's very likely why I started this little live chat. But baby, honey, I'm not quite ready now. And just like I was telling friend, if he is referring to Diane's incident, I mean her scenario, if he is everything that she believes and wants him to be, then that's great. He's not going to go anywhere. He's going to stick around. So you could definitely take your time to continue healing and evaluating the situation. But it being long distance, that's great. Um, but yeah, I can't rush it. I can't rush it. So honey, if my secret admirer is somewhere out there right now, baby, we're gonna need more time, honey. We're gonna need more time, honey. I'm still heartbroken. I'm still tender, honey. A follow up with what guest Knox? Knox asks, has anyone done a follow up with any other guests? I try to do follow ups. That's why I try to check every now and then to see who's in here. Remember, if you want to come up, all you got to do is send a request. I will bring you on up, honey, and we will get you right on featured, honey. We will see if you can find love, honey. If not, at the end of the day, you're going to always find community. You're going to always find people. People going to always find you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, Sissy, what's going on, Sissy? We ain't got nothing going on in here. I ain't got no tea going on in here for you. I'm about to feature Knox. I'm about to feature Knox. Little does he know. I hope he ain't in the fluffing fold. Knox. I hope you're not in the fluffing fold. What's going on, Dom? You trying to come up tonight and get featured, Dom? What's going on? Send a request. Send a request on the live. Hmm. You sitting down to that. I think, Knox, I think you might be our, our first boot up scene. Our first boot up feature. Hmm. Knox might be our first boot ups. We do, Naja. We just had one of my most recent videos that I just posted on the page. Denise found love through the show. Um, yeah, yeah. She tells her story. You gotta go check it out. I don't want to give it away. Dom, it don't. Oh, I didn't know you were taken. I didn't know you were taken, Dom. But I knew you were poly. Being poly doesn't matter. We've had non-monogamous people be featured before. I think I'm about to start featuring y'all who are steady. Y'all who are consistent and supporting a bitch. I think I'm going to start featuring people who are already in relationships. That's what I was talking about doing with Knox tonight. I had started even writing up some questions. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Since we taking an intermission, honey, I'm gonna take a smoke break, honey. Hoping that our featured guest has time to come on now. Matter of fact, let me hit him up and see if he's busy. Let me hit him up on the black phone, honey. You gotta have a black phone. I'm telling you, everything black, buy black, support black niggas in the workplace, bitch. Blackball, um, gatekeep black, bitch. All of the things, black, baby. Sissy, you talking like you want to come up. You want to come up, Sissy? You want to come up? Cause I will surely. I don't need to write no questions. You know, I know how to get to the T. I don't need to be prepped. But remember, if you want to come up, baby, just send a request to let me know in the chat, huh? I'm gonna call them. Will a call go through if I'm on? Why you fall out, sissy? Why you fall out? You ain't done or something? It would be some tea, but we ain't got to say no names. I got time schedule. Hello. Hey, are you available? You available to come on? Okay. Y'all better stop playing with the Puss, honey. She had to pull out the black phone. I got two phones. One for the bitches and one for the hoes. I got two phones. One for the dick and one for the low. I got two. I was just thinking about it. Naja asked, it would be fun. And she's down. And when did I decide to start featuring people? I thought about it from the beginning. I thought about featuring people who were in relationships from the beginning because honestly, I know more people in relationships than I do single. But I also wanted to attract single people to the show, and I wanted to. I wanted a gay dating show, like not no fucking Bobby. I love you, per bitch. Holy. That shit gave me PTSD. Girl. Rolling Ray, Lord forgive me, looking like a sour grape. And no, that's not because he is in a wheelchair. It's because he can read a bitch and I can read him. Bitch. He would look like a sour grape even if he was standing. Bitch. Okay. But for one, I wanted a gay dating show. I liked Kendra G show that she did. Um, But when I started seeing her having queer and trans people come up on there, I was just like, mm-mm. And so instead of me reading her, reading her kitchen, or reading the length of her forehead, I was just like, Bre, you can just do it yourself and, promote it to queer people. Why not? So I thought about it. I thought about it a long time ago, sissy, but I didn't start coming on here and doing the lives until around the time that me and my ex broke up. So that was about July, August. hmm Oh, excuse me. Oh, I think our next guest has come on air. Let's see what's going on. Let me, guys, give me 17 seconds and let me get a couple more puffs out because we was talking about Caribbean meat and stuff when Diane was up here. And all of a sudden, I just got dizzy a little bit. You know, I don't want to. I don't want to really rehash it. You know, but we were talking about the the length of a vagina and people getting their cervix hit and all those things. Long story short, I need to take a puff at a blunt real quick. 17 seconds. Give me 17 seconds. Let me hit my medicine. I'm medical. I'm medicinal. Now, y'all know, bitch, y'all know it's crazy. Really? I'm a prime example that smart and crazy have nothing to do with each other. They are mutually exclusive. Only you can be both at the same time. You could be one or the other, or you could be neither. And that, I just showed y'all exactly what I meant. I'm the intersection between smart and crazy. Only because I went over the top of some of y'all heads. And I'm sure I looked crazy as hell when I was saying that. I gotta give me some good lashes though. Hey sis, you coming up tonight, sis? I gotta give me some new lashes though, because I'm tired of looking like a Muppet made by Jim Henson. I swear to God. I'm not blinking to advertise the lashes. I'm blinking because the lashes is really heavy and they make my eyes want to be closed. But, you know, I have to force them to stay up. You know. Mm. All right, guys, I'm ready. I'm ready to bring you on that. Oh, give me 17 seconds. You know I'm old. Man. Hello, hello. Give the
How
people
you
your name
doing?
and pronouns, please.
Okay. I'm AJ Scruggs, otherwise known as the Lavender Bandit. My pronouns are he, him, they, them, and king. Please use them all. Just use my name.
Now, friend, are you interested? Because we talked behind the scenes, and I know that you had something in particular you wanted to address. But do you want to be featured? Are you willing to be featured as well? All right. Well, we're gonna
Absolutely.
keep it moving.
Absolutely.
Give the people your age and zodiac sign.
I am 35 years old, just turned 35 a week ago. And I am a
And
full-blooded
where are you
Capricorn.
from? Where are you from? Where are you located? What's going on?
I'm actually in Philadelphia. Grew up in Jersey. Lived in Baltimore for a little bit, so I'm an East Coast boy down to my soul.
Okay, I dig it. What's your sexual orientation from?
Uh, uh Queer. So anything that's not heterosexual.
He said, "Don't box me with them people, honey." Um, and what do you do for a living?
I am the founder and executive director of Visible T 365, which is my own nonprofit organization where we connect Black trans folks to growth opportunities, whether that's spiritual, professional, or personal. And I also do a lot of community work nationally with different organizations like Take. I have worked for TGIJP in California, I also work with a lot of other organizations like Uncloak down in the comments. I see you, nephew, and a bunch of other transmasculine organizations to help build capacity so that we are out here doing the work as we should, just
Ow.
like our sisters.
Are you single?
I am not, but I'm
Oh,
polyamorous.
shucks. Oh. Um, why poly? I'm curious.
I realize that as a person that you can't and shouldn't place all of your expectations on one person. Um, I realize that every relationship that you have serves a different purpose in your life, and not all intimate relationships are romantic relationships, if that makes sense. So where I may have a friend that I feel completely comfortable with cuddling with and there's nothing sexual there, I cherish that relationship as if I would a romantic relationship, because all of my relationships are important to me. So I'm allowed to explore that. And also, it's not all sexual when it comes to polyamory. So it's a deeper connection for me. And I'm allowed to explore that without limits on myself.
Absolutely agree on that. I feel like we should never have limits on things that don't affect other people. Um, you said, can you repeat that phrase for me? You said that all relationships that are intimate aren't affectionate. Is that what you?
All relationships that are intimate
Oh
aren't
yeah,
always
yeah,
romantic or
very
sexual.
true. And you also said that for you, being poly is not always a sexual thing.
Yeah, that's that. For me, I guess I value more than just physicality of a relationship. I value somebody that cares enough to, say, hey, have you taken your meds today? Have you done, have you worked out this week? Have you done all of those things? And sometimes I realize that my partner has a life of their own. So like that may come from somebody else and I shouldn't feel guilty because that's coming from somebody else and it's not taking away from what my partner can
But
provide me.
if the relationships aren't sexual or romantic, you would still consider that part of, you would still consider that like a polyamor, you would consider that to make you polyamorous?
Because there's this kind of like there's no hierarchy in the relationship department. So when it comes to the person that I'm most romantic with and I may start building a life with, I don't it doesn't make the other partner like any less valuable in that relationship for me. um it I just value it in a different way, if that makes sense. So I never love any of my partners the same way. I love them differently. So like it's never this thing of, oh, you need to love me the way that you love them. It's it's I love you this way because this is the way that you said that you need to be loved, and I'm allowed
I
to
get that
explore that
part,
without.
but what I'm curious about,
Yeah.
because like with me, for example, I have a very intimate friend group. I have a small friend group, but we're very close, and those relationships mean a lot to me. But that wouldn't make me polyamorous, would it?
No, and I also think that dating is a part of it too, that people don't even think about. Like if you don't consider you going out with friends for lunch a date, then that's true for you. But I may consider me and my friend that I cuddle with going out to eat as a date, where it's going to be different for each and every individual person or persons involved in that
Okay, so I
that
got
kind
it.
of
You,
relationship.
for me, in my friendships, I'm non-romantic, completely non-romantic in those friendships. But you're saying that you have friendships that are romantic, but not necessarily sexual. Okay, all right, I got you.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It makes more sense now. Maybe I confused myself.
No, I think I used romantic when I didn't mean to. So it may be my part. Hey, baby.
So how long, how how many partners do you have now, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, right now I have one. Um, I actually just got out of a relationship with my ex-boyfriend, who was another trans man, and we decided to split. I was not happy about it, but we
Hold on,
decided to
just
split,
you just
and
breeze
our
past that. You we did not know that
I told you I wasn't, I
we
wasn't
did not know
heterosexual.
that you were a trans man. You just said that you were not a heterosexual man and that you were open to various pronouns. We have plenty cisgender men who come on here and say the same thing. So I just wanted to give a
Oh,
shout out
my bad.
that you're a trans brother. I just didn't want to breeze past that. But I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize. So you said you recently just got out of a relationship with your ex-boyfriend.
Mhm. And we decided that it's just easier for us to be friends, and just like, and that's my guy. Like, I love him to death still, and I think I value him a little bit more now, that we've been able to communicate that, you know what, this isn't working. I support him and his girlfriend. I love them to death, and it's just, polyamory for me allowed me to learn how to communicate, because if you don't, everything will blow up. So, like, it did the one thing that monogamy was never able to do, which was to actually allow me to be open and be able to communicate more effectively, because I'm realizing that there is way more than just myself involved. It's way more than just one person involved. I have to worry about everybody. And if I'm going to be this guy, I have to be very upfront about how I feel, what my needs are, and be able to communicate that, and also be able to listen. Because it's one thing to you have your cake, eat it too, but you
Oh
also have
yeah,
to be able
yeah,
to listen.
because you can very easily destroy relationships and ultimately destroy your reputation because the queer community is a lot smaller than we want to believe it is. So, were you were you single before you met your current partner, or did you already know them before breaking up with your ex-boyfriend?
So my partner that I'm with now, we actually were together when I met my boyfriend. So we were actually friends first. Actually, Mixed Salacious down there is my partner. They and I actually, funny. Okay, I get to tell my story. So I was actually in a completely different relationship, and I was exploring polyamory with this particular partner. So I was on the apps, swiping, and I decided to swipe right on a certain somebody's picture. I was like, oh, they're cute. And it wasn't until maybe about 2 years later that we actually met in person. Just so happened to be at like the trans wellness conference in Philly, and I shook their hand. I remember looking in their eyes, and I was just like, damn, they are beautiful. Like, completely like enamored in that moment. And from there, we just kind of just became friends. Um, like, they were very, very easy to talk to, and I had never been in a relationship or just a friendship where I could be completely all of my shit showisms and all of that. Like, I was able to be me 100,000% myself, and like, I was here for it. So, from there it just grew. And I had a crush. Like, I hadn't had a crush in fucking years. Like, what? I was out here crushing. Like, who does that? Like, you're 30 years old. Like, who does this? But it was from there. It was like this beautiful relationship that came from a friendship and a swiping right on the
Okay.
app. I got
Um,
lucky.
how long have y'all been together?
We are coming up on how many years? Three.
I ain't fooling with y'all. I ain't fooling with y'all. I ain't.
Hey, fellas, don't be afraid to ask, because if you partake in anything cannabis, that memory might be shot to hell. Uh, this let's say, babe, I don't even remember what day did we get married. Put it up somewhere. Can we put the pamphlet up somewhere? Put the date on the refrigerator. Help me. I'm a big ass goofball,
I'm
y'all. I'm
telling you,
sorry.
I appreciate the story. You know, I appreciate you bringing up the fact that you've been appreciated with all your shit showisms, because I'm very much a shit show kind of girl. So it gives me faith. It gives me hope. I've always been able to find people who can accept pieces of me, and maybe even large portions of me, but never all. Not yet, anyway. So when did you come to the idea of polyamory, before or during your relationship with your current partner?
Definitely before. I had been in a couple of relationships, one as what's called a hinge, which is both partners are dating me, but they don't necessarily intersect. So they have their own separate relationships with me, but they know that they share a boyfriend, which ended up being what myself and my partner and my ex-boyfriend actually ended up doing for a little while after we tried dating each other. Didn't work. But I think for me, it just allowed me to be able to have those moments that I enjoyed with each individual person. And I appreciate it. Like I
I just
appreciate the relationships. Like I grow every time that I'm able to be
I
this
did it.
open and honest person.
Are you
With
and remind me, how long has it been since you've broken up with your ex? How long ago was that?
Oh, that was actually recently. We broke up. This is gonna sound horrible. Right before his birthday, he broke up with me. What my fault? He choices. Uh, no, but like, yeah, we broke up right before his birthday in October. Um, I was not a happy person about it. There was so much stuff going on at the time that I was just like,
Do you
I really, I don't want to do this. Like, okay, whatever. And I was kind of bitter for like maybe a
do
month and
you
a half.
think that polyamory, or your current relationship, your which seems to be your primary relationship, did any of that affect the breakup? Was that
If I'm real, yes. So I was living in California for like a year. I had taken a job out in California, so I was closer to him. Um, for a good minute. And I would go to Portland where he was staying, and like I had time, and like we were talking about doing some things with his son. And when I made the decision to move back to Philly, it was I had to do this move for me. And I had a plan. I was supposed to move, but he was like, I'm not ready to live with anybody. And I respected that. But I went on to planning mode for me, which means I need to make sure that when I land, I have my job, I do all the things that I need to do when I go back home. And he felt like he was going to get pushed out of the picture. Um, so naturally, you try to, eradicate that pain before it happens. He started pulling away. We started beefing. And it's just kind of like more and more decline. So I kind of just leaned into getting myself together and working on my relationship that I hadn't really paid much attention to that I needed to.
so during
Um,
that period when you were um, on the West Coast, you kind of neglected your marriage, your primary relationship?
Neglected, yes, in some forms. It was more of there were decisions made by both parties not to really address what was going on with us, as opposed to allowing whatever was developing with our other relationship to be there. And because we didn't address what was going on with us, it was waiting for me when I got here. So I wasn't coming home contrary to popular belief, which was what he believed, is that I was coming home to this plethora of goodness when I was actually like, no, I'm running into the problems that I left almost a year ago.
Yeah.
Like, and him not understanding that kind of like led us to like split. And once he started dating his partner, he kind of transferred that energy, and I was just like, you know what, that's cool. But we've been able to kind of talk about that and what that looks like and how we show up in each other's
It
lives
makes
now.
sense. I said makes sense because I explored non-monogamy in my past in dating, and for me it ultimately didn't work out because I have just my own insecurities, um and I'm very big on communication, and like you said early on, communication is a big thing. Like, I pursue my career and everything that I do professionally so hard that I already struggle to communicate in a relationship with one person. So it would be hard for me to date more than one person, and it would be hard for me to accept my partner dating multiple people.
Okay. I mean, it ain't for everybody. And for a while, I thought it wasn't for me, but like, again, it's being able to talk to your person or talk to your people. If you're able to communicate and get those things off of you, because like a lot of the times, like communicating once in a relationship, we feel like it's bad and it's shameful because we should share the same things and we should want to share those things with our partners. But if we feel like it's selfish or something that only I want for me, like we feel like we can't share that. Um, but we do that when we cheat.
Mm-hmm.
We share those secrets, those things that we can't share with that primary partner, with this person, because you feel like it won't be.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes a part of that secret. So instead of kind of like reenacting that kind of behavior, I started sharing my dirty secrets with the person that I know that can that can handle that, and that's the person that takes my good and my bad days, my ups and downs, sadness and depression. Um, because depression and anxiety is real, especially for me as a
And me
white
as a
trans
black
man.
trans woman, I, no
What?
judgment. I am very, very much like we're all not wired the same. We're all not built the same. Clearly, it's obvious we don't look the same. Why would we think and feel and operate in relationships the same? Um, but I forgot my damn question now. Jesus be a fan. No, Jesus be a cue card, bitch. Um, at this point, are you open to love with somebody else, or are you still focused on your marriage?
Come on, manifestation. Um, so open to loving, I'm always willing to do. As far as bringing another partner into my life, partners is a little bit more responsibility. It takes a little bit more to it, unless they. So in my experience, solo poly folks are more like out of sight, out of mind. And it's okay for them to like exist and kind of float through, but like I don't know, like I feel like I want to be connected to that person and have some form of relationships, because again, this is not a sexual thing for me. I need more than that. I need a
Hmm.
genuine
Yeah,
connection with
I got the
somebody.
impression early on that it's not always sexual for you because you do the whole cuddle buddy thing.
I'm a big teddy bear. I love to cuddle. Like as a kid, that's been my thing. Like my grandmother believed in hugging me, so I
I
was
have
a
I
hugger.
remember my question now, White Jesus whispered it in my ear. What would you still consider yourself, because I've had a lot of people come on and discuss non being open to non-monogamy in their relationships, being open to the idea of playing with other people or being intimate with other people, or being affectionate with other people during the course of a long-term relationship, but they don't necessarily consider themselves poly. Um, do you think that that is the case for you?
So the term I like to use for stuff like that is monogamish-ish. Um, I it, I was it was an article that came down my timeline, and I read it. I was just like, that makes that kind of makes sense. Um, so I think that was kind of like my introduction, slowly, like for me personally, being able to share that with a partner, and then them saying, okay, well, we could play together. Like I'm down for threesomes, but you can never play by yourself, and also ain't no doubling back. Like it's play and go. Um, I wasn't really okay with that because that brings up a contingency of new people every single time, and that's energy that I don't want. Ah, I'm just
That's funny that you bring that up, because it's a lot of people who would be willing, who are more open to the idea or more accepting of the idea of it being someone anonymous, so there's lack of attachment. But you brought up the counterpoint that, yeah, there may be a lack of attachment, but it's also causing a revolving door situation. I never heard that counter. I never heard that counter, honey. I love to see it. Now, but before I let you go, you did want to address something. What was that? What exactly did you want to discuss? I remember you.
it was Denise's comment about um how I don't know if she was talking about dating or if she was just talking about in general that it's easier for trans men uh, than it is for trans women. And I kind of wanted to bring up a couple of things about why that may be a little untrue
Okay,
to a certain
before you
extent.
get started, I do want to make it clear that it was a snippet, and I did edit out a section where she said outside of PLC presenting. So I just wanted to bring that up, but before you make your point.
Okay. So, as a trans man, I've had a little girlhood. I was a black little girl. So like my sisters, I understand what it's like to be controlled on how you present. There is also this idea that we are socially accepted. If you present too masculine, you run the risk of also being essayed. Um, I know brothers, ooh, it actually makes me a little bit emotional, that have been correctively essayed by their fathers. So these are things that a lot of our brothers we don't talk about and that they've experienced. Guys that have been kidnapped because they were a little different and like trying to be corrected. Um, I think we do need to be having a lot more conversations about our childhoods that most people we don't even want to go back there and talk about that. But if more of my sisters understood that we went through some fucked up shit too, like a lot of us have gone through everything that y'all have gone through, and y'all have to remember that we were little girls. We we could have been R. Kelly's victims. We could have been those little girls that are now grown women telling their stories about how they were groomed and things like that. And there are some guys that are out here actually doing that kind of work. Um, even dating wise, it can get a little tricky, especially if you're a heterosexual trans man, because you have to run into different things like cisgender women who uphold patriarchy, sexism, and misogyny. And those are the same people that are doing it to you. We run the risk of a lot of parallels that I think we need to have more discussions about. And I think that's the only point I truly wanted to make about that. Because there is this narrative that my sisters think that it's easier. It's because we don't talk about our struggles. And that comes with being a black man. On top of growing up a little girl that was being trained to be a black woman to hold the same amount of shit.
Guy that I dated most recently, randomly out of nowhere, said, why do y'all always want us to be strong? And I had to remind him, one, that I'm not everybody else that he's dated, and two, I had to remind him that for a lot of us who do date trans men, we hold y'all to those same cis women, trans women, other trans men, other men that y'all date, gay men. There's an expectation for men, black men especially, to have no emotions outside of promiscuity and anger. So I get it, bro. I definitely get it. And like I said before, I predominantly date trans men, and with me having the ability to dig in people's heads, a lot of things have come out, you know, and crazy enough, I've heard stories like what you mentioned earlier, and it made me remember that some of those stories I had blanked out, and one of the reasons is because I wasn't told them publicly. It wasn't a video I could go back and look at, and it's nobody to reference those things anymore. But I'm definitely a proponent for black men crying.
And we need it. We need it more than I can even begin to talk about. We need those spaces, and I appreciate you for even allowing me and inviting me up. I
No
appreciate you.
problem,
I'm sorry,
baby, honey. We was sitting here, we was going to smoke and come up with something to kiki about till you came up on here. Thank you for coming
appreciate
on,
it.
bro.
For sure.
Yes, y'all, honey. I think that wraps up the show for the evening. I think that wraps up the show for the evening. We're going to bring Knox up just to end things, you know, on a traditional level, baby. But Knox, I'm warning you, honey. My phone is going dead. So don't gag. Don't gag if I disappear now. Knox, where you at?
Hey, love.
Hey.
How's everybody doing? I'm messing with my new computer, my new laptop. So I'm in between trying to get Instagram to work and on my laptop and my phone. So, whatever. Happy New Year's to everybody. Sorry that I missed last Monday. Somebody didn't communicate to me that they were doing a show. We're not gonna say any names, but I figured that she would at least take that day off and just kind of chill out. But we already know she does nothing conventional.
Hey, honey. No,
I'm sitting up in here. I've been down for 2 days. My chronic pain has been acting up for the last couple of weeks. So it's one of those times that Happy New Year. It's one of those times where the pain medicine doesn't work, nothing works. So Usually, if you don't see me on social media, it's either that or I've been put in timeout on TikTok. So it's one of the two. But I'm glad to see everybody made it into the new year, and I just want to say that may everything that you wish for comes true for the New Year's, and everything that you think that you want doesn't come true. Decipher that, because and I guess what I'm trying to say is some of the things that we think we want are actually meant to destroy us.
And don't even explain yourself, honey. I'm gonna break something down to y'all, honey. I know Knox looks no older than 40 at best, but honey, we are dealing with a legend, honey. We are dealing with an icon, baby. We ain't going to let you figure out the top and you leave us to decipher and de-scramble, honey.
I want to say this real quick. So, I said 2023, I didn't have getting into 3 fights last year on my bingo card at all. So that actually happened in 2023. And one of the little boys that I had to yank up at one of the bars, he came and he apologized to me. And he realized that he was drunk, and he said some things, and he said, blaming it on me being drunk is not acceptable. And he said the same thing about icon. I said, baby, I'm nowhere near an icon. So I appreciate that. I said, but and then that moment, it wasn't just about him apologizing, but it was also me realizing that as an elder in this community, I also have to handle myself better when it comes to confrontations like that. But I had to tell him, I was like, you can say anything that you want to say about me, but when you bring my husband into the mix, then that's when we got a problem. Because my husband doesn't bother anybody. He doesn't drink. He sits back and he lets me have my fun while we go out or whatever, and then we come home. So, but that is something that I had to realize right then and there, that I have to do a better job of handling myself and being a better example in our community, because those were the examples that I had when I was growing up. And that is something that I hope anybody that is an elder in this community, I want to say this, please start showing up and show the examples and the lessons that you were taught when you were coming through the ranks. Because I think that will help bridge that gap that we have. And I've seen so many people, they arrive and then they shit and forget everything that has been taught to them about community, about respect, about loving our community, about loving our brothers and sisters. The only thing they love is being able to afford designer clothing, to be able to live in a fancy part of the neighborhood. Those things are great. Those things are great if you got the coins and if you're able to live in a decent part of the neighborhood. I don't knock you for that. But what I knock is when you're not reaching back and coming and teaching the lessons that were taught to you. That's how this community will continue to survive. So I just want to say that. Didn't mean to take over the show, y'all. But yeah. So
It was needed, and if you need a situation to reference, honey, check out the video that I will have posted in the next hour, honey. It references that point that you mentioned. And we always here. We always here. Yes, honey. But we love y'all. Peace, love, and blessings.
go get it. Go get it. It's out there to be